What is going on, guys? This is Walk Talk Football, the show where we talk about everything that's on your mind. This week, we're in the West Village, one of the nicest neighborhoods in all of New York City because the weather's great, so we're out and about, so let's walk. So guys, we had a lot of submissions from you guys, and we're gonna talk about them, so let's get right to them. First off, what was my first pro soccer match that I ever went to? To be honest with you, I don't really remember. I know I went to a women's soccer game when I was young, like women's national team game. I don't know if the women were professional at that point, but it was a great game. I don't remember who played or anything like that, but I remember the experience itself. I also went to the first season of Major League Soccer, and I went to a Costa Rican national team game with my regional team. Those are the three ones that really come to mind. I'm probably missing the first true professional game, but regardless, those are the memories that I have from my first games. I've had a lot of experiences since then that I'm thankful for. But guys, get down in the comment, let me know what your first professional game was, what country, what league it was in, what the experience was like, if that was really your hook into the game, or if you loved it before that, or if it was a long time until after that you actually fell in love with the match, with the game itself. Next up, do I think Messi will ever leave Barcelona? I don't think so. I mean, this kid came through La Masia, or La Masia, whichever way you pronounce it, and he's Barcelona through and through. Now, I could see him doing an MLS or something like that, but in terms of going to another competitive league where there's a loyalty or a European loyalty, I don't see that happening. You know, you have guys like Ronaldo who started somewhere else, moved a couple times before he was at Real Madrid, so I could see him moving again. But Messi, it's a much bigger stretch. Kyle wants to talk Moussa Dembele and where he could end up after all these rumors. The latest rumor that I've read is that he could be going to Everton if Lukaku's going to leave. He could actually be a perfect replacement. What's shocking for me is that I was reading through like the top 50 young players in the world, and he wasn't on two of these lists that I read yesterday, and I can't understand it. And that just seems to be the fact that he's playing in the Scottish Premier League. It seems like if he's playing anywhere else and he had the success that he had, I mean, he's only 20 years old. So if he goes to Everton, it's going to cost around £30 million is what I've been reading. But it could be a good move for him. We saw Lukaku have that incredible success, and so I think he could be that next guy to step in, and he's young enough to really, hopefully bring Everton back to a level that is playing Europa League or Champions League. I guess they're playing Europa League, but playing Champions League or pushing for Champions League, or really competing with those top 6 teams instead of just floating around that 6 to 8 range. But again, I'm not sure where he's going to end up, but Everton does seem like a good choice. What do I think of Hector Moreno going to Roma, and should Pineda and Pizarro stay or leave Chivas? I think Hector Moreno going to Roma is great for our region. Roma's probably going to be in a rebuild phase post-Totti, so I think it's a smart move for him. I think he should be able to get the time, and it's still this prestigious club, even if they're not going to probably finish in second place next year. And then in terms of Pineda, myself, for guys in this region, if they're going to leave, they should leave and go to Europe, not other Mexican teams. The more players that go from the US and Mexico and Canada to play in Europe's top leagues, the better this league is going to be. The better our region's going to be, the more respect it's going to get, and the higher quality we're going to have within the national teams and stuff like that. So if they go to Europe, go to good clubs, and keep pushing themselves forward. Next, do I think Van Dijk could go to Liverpool? Well, Koulibaly is now linked with them, and this is going to come down to Van Dijk because Liverpool were accused of tapping up to get him, so it's going to really come down to Van Dijk forcing a move to make that happen. I don't know if he's willing to do that or ruffle those feathers, but it's now probably all in his hands and his agent's hands to handle this delicately, professionally, and somewhat force the move. There's rumors that Snyder could be joining Montreal Impact. Will he be a great player for MLS? I mean, of course, he has all the tools. We saw how good Snyder's been over the years, but you know, he's been in Turkey, and no disrespect to the Turkish league or Galatasaray, and he's done well there, but we have to limit our expectations for him because, you know, we've seen guys come to MLS, and he's the type of player you have to have a system already in place. You have to play around what plays to his strengths to get the most out of him, and does Montreal Impact have that? I don't know, but we shouldn't expect him to come in and have a 15-goal, 15-assist season, that's for sure. No Alexandro to Chelsea. Yes, we're sorry we missed that in our rad transfer show yesterday. If you missed that, go and check that out. We talk about all the latest transfer rumors, some that are done, some that are in the works, some that we think are complete bullshit, but check those out. But yes, no Alexandro to Chelsea, we missed it. £60 million for an outside back. Listen, as an outside back, former outside back, I wish that was the era that I was living in, because then I could have had probably better moves and made more money, but they already have Marcos Alonso. I think it's disrespectful to him. He's solid enough. And £60 million for an outside back. We're seeing Barcelona with the same issues, willing to spend this much money on outside backs. I don't know if teams are just reinforcing or if there's a new era of value in defenders, but either way, it's insane. I know, I should make a comeback and get some of that money. Just this portion of that transfer fee alone will make him a very wealthy man. Not that he has to worry about it, because he's a world-class player anyway. Hey Heath, do you think that Mexico's in a good place for Confederations Cup right now? I mean, you tell me. They've got 4 points after 2 games. They drew with the European champions, which could make you happy or mad. They beat New Zealand after having a really poor first half. I think they're in a great place. All they got to do is draw or beat Russia, who haven't looked that great either, other than Akinfeev had a great game in goal. So I think they're in a great position to get to the semifinals. And remember, if you get to the semifinals of the Confederations Cup, you get 2 games. There's a consolation game or there's a final. So just getting to that point, you get to play 2 more matches against top competition. So I think they're in a great position. Talk about Osorio poor tactics. Hashtag Osorio out as soon as the Confed Cup is over. I'm not going to speak about his tactics because that's not my job. I'm not the tactician for you guys. But it's funny how quick the tides change. Osorio, when Mexico lost to Chile in the Copa Centenario, everybody was up in arms. Fire him, fire him, fire him. And I was sort of in agreement. I mean, that is a embarrassing loss. I think, what was it, 7-1 or 6-1 or 5-1 or whatever it was. Huge loss. But now you're top of the group in qualifying. Mexico's never top of the group in qualifying. So be thankful, enjoy it. You guys are cruising through qualifying comfortably to the World Cup. The US is having to scrap for every single little point. Be careful what you wish for, because you fire him and then you have to go and find another manager that knows how to work with the players, that knows how to manage them. And it seems like the players seem to want to play for Osorio. So as much as you might want him out, be careful what you wish for, because once he's gone, you might wish otherwise. Who's my favorite for the Confederations Cup? I'm going with Germany on that one, purely because it's Germany and you can never root against Germany or count Germany out. What color will New York be after Saturday's New York derby? I'm saying the color of rainbows, because you know, I can't pick a team. NYCFC's been good this year. Red Bulls are trending upwards. They got guys like Tyler Adams stepping in. But if you were to take in terms of current form, I would probably say NYCFC is the better team right now. David Villa is incredible. He is pulling all the strings for that team. Pirlo's out of the squad, which I think is a smart move. They're going with a younger squad, a more energy, higher energy. But either way, it's going to be a great game for everyone. Next, Red Bull Leipzig and Salzburg will both be able to play Champions League, which is, you know, if you ask Pat, who's anti-modern football, he hates it. But it's kind of interesting that rules are changing on the spot like that. But if they do play against each other, would it be a derby? No, but it won't be a derby in any sort of way, shape, or form. It's just 2 ownership groups, just the same way that the Red Bull New York don't really have any affiliation with them other than like players can go train once in a while and things like that. So it won't be a derby, but players play to win. So either way, it'll be a great game, which you would expect from any Champions League match. What 4 teams are going through the hexagon stage for the CONCACAF? And do I think Honduras still has a chance to qualify for Russia? Honduras has to win in San Pedro Sula if they want any chance. I mean, that's obvious. You guys should know that. It's a very hostile and difficult place for any team to play, but the problem is their last 2 home games are against the US and Mexico, so it's not looking likely. So I'm going to go with the US. I'm going to go with Mexico, Costa Rica, the 3 favorites. Obviously, those are easy picks for me, but I think the 3 most likely at this point. And then maybe Panama or Honduras in that place, whoever's going to scrap up those points, but they're going to have to go through that playoff spot, which isn't easy. And finally, my favorite time of every show, well, at least Walk Talk Football, is time to address you haters. Guys, a few of you guys are a little upset by some comments made in one of our shows about Renato Sanchez sort of being overrated. You know, how are you going to say Sanchez has been bad when he's really been given opportunities? Look, first of all, when you cost that much money, you aren't given opportunities. You have to take opportunities. And any player that's good enough playing at Bayern is going to play. No one's just going to not play him because he's good enough and they just decide he's not going to play. So I know he's young, he's going to be good, he's going to be great, but they spent a lot of money on him and he underperformed this year because he didn't play much this year. And when you're that age, you have to be playing. When you cost that much money, you have to be playing. When you come off a Euro championship, you have to be playing. So I do think he's overrated in the sense of how much they paid for him. If you ask Bayern if he's overrated, they're going to say yes, because we paid all this money for him and he didn't play this year. Bayern rarely spends a lot of money on players and then doesn't have some sort of expectation for them to play that season. Anyways, I'm over it, guys. You've got me all heated about this stuff. Our last hater for the day says, could you change the music for these types of videos? I think it's trash. Well, you said thrash, but I think you're trying to say trash. And I actually like this music. So editor, turn it up.